My name is Taylor Speegle. I'm a managing partner and co-founder at Wondour.
My name is Dylan Stroud. I'm managing partner and co-founder at Wondour.
Wondour is a design and innovation firm focusing on building custom consumer technologies. And we started, as a partnership, Dylan and myself, we've started back, shortly after the first apps rolled out on the Apple App Store. And since then, and as we found success in developing our own mobile apps, we had more and more companies and startups asking for our assistance and insight on that. And since then, in those early years, we've expanded into the firm we are today, partnering with people all over the world, corporations all over the world, from startups with barely a brand new idea, all the way up to large multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations.
Some of the services that we offer, we design and build mobile apps, virtual reality apps, augmented reality apps, mixed reality apps, desktop web apps. We really hone in on the technology where we can use software to innovate in some sort of way. We also build websites and things like that, as well as industrial design for hardware.
So our origins really stem from us having an idea, like so many other companies and so many other entrepreneurs. Is my background, I was working in finance, in consulting work. And Dylan and I had been longtime friends. Actually, we were in a band together way back in the day when we were kids. And from there, we came together and we had an app idea. Okay, so how do we get that done? We asked the basic questions that so many entrepreneurs and startups come to us with. And we started with those very same question sets. And we started to build a team around our concept. And we iterated through concepts and became effectively serial entrepreneurs, building mobile app after mobile app. And that's really where our roots were. And as we started to find more and more success, we had more and more third parties, started initially with friends and then people in our network, and then ultimately corporations asking for our help in, well, how do you do that? Can you help us? And so following our natural curiosity and following the success that we had personally, we found great joy in the process of creating. Right? The process of ideating through a concept, what could this mobile app be, or what could this virtual reality app become, and how can it help users? That same natural curiosity that we've had from day one, we carry through to the projects that we work with people all over the world. And it's in that process that we think one of the main strong suits of Wondour lives, is going through the process ourselves so many times, our whole team, right? We hire a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of other people who have built or exited from companies to join our team, and all of that combined experiences we get to bring to company after startup, and the lessons that we've learned we can teach so that they don't make the same mistakes or have to learn the same difficult lessons and challenges that we have. And that in itself is where we've started to formulate and where we found joy in being more of a firm than building necessarily only our own ideas. While we still do that, we find that we work the majority of the time working and consulting with third parties on their own ventures.
So now is a really exciting time in the technology space. Things have never moved quicker. The amount of innovation that's happening every single day is incredible to watch, and the entire industry is moving at really breakneck speeds. And so, we've always, as individuals, filled up journals, filled up ideas, and it really has never been easier to take an idea and bring it to reality than it is today. The barrier of entry for someone with an idea to actually create something real has never been lower. And so it's a really exciting time to sort of take all the tools that are available now, watch the innovations that are happening, and sit down and try to come up with world firsts. And so this is a lot like sort of the .com boom. We're now seeing that with things like the Metaverse, blockchain technology, the emergence of NFTs, and the various ways that you can implement and sort of cross-functionally implement the learnings from each of these different industries. There's a lot of innovations that happen there, and so really it just fires up our imagination constantly. And so I think now is probably the most exciting it's ever been. There's never been more platforms to build for. There's never been more hardware and software standards than there is today. And so it's a really exciting time to work with the likes of artificial intelligence. It really is. There's just endless potential.
And I'd say more than ever, there are more creators than ever before, right? Because these tools allow this commoditization of what before required specialty or PhDs to be able to do, or really expensive price tags on software, is now available to everyone, right? From a middle schooler all the way up to somebody well into their 70s and past their traditional careers. And I think in that is also the excitement and the beauty of the industry. Is not only does it, does technology permeate everything that we do on a daily basis, has incredible opportunity to do good, but we get to work with more people, and we've seen this technology impact more people than ever, and work with more creators than ever. Everyone has more than ever. Everyone has an idea of kind of an app idea, but what an app idea is not just a mobile application, right? There are so many broader implications of where those ideas can be implemented, where those messages and stories could be told. And so now is really just, and it's going to get better, right? So where we are today is some of the most exciting time that we've ever experienced in the world of technology, but the rate of change is exponential. And so 5 years from now and 10 years from now will be vastly different. And living in a world like that is what's so exciting.
Almost every industry in the world can be impacted dramatically with the proper use of innovation in technology, whether that be through software, hardware, combination, different monetization and business plans. Those sort of innovations, once again, have never been easier to implement. And you can really push the needle in ways that you really just weren't possible before, except for really large companies, which is really exciting, I think, for a lot of small and medium businesses to actually start to be players in the technology space. And of course, there's always room for continued innovation in the enterprise, at the enterprise level. We have done that before, and that it's fun to sort of help those teams, which often are slow moving, come back to that startup pace and make sure that they can keep things moving very quickly, very rapidly, and sort of avoid the common pitfalls that with the incumbents in a given space. Generally, they tend to slow down where startups can come in and disrupt them. And so we integrate really well into those teams. Comes with its own set of challenges that are rewarding in their own way as well, to see those changes actually impact the organization.
So the team is critical, right, to success in so much of what we do. And in the world of technology, the breadth of different technologies that can be deployed also necessitates the breadth of expertise that's needed for any given project. If we're coming into a small or medium-sized business, right, they already have practices in place and a full network of teams and contractors and processes that they work with. And so when it comes to the team that we assemble, so Wondour itself assembles entrepreneurs and specialists across both the development field, the design field, from a broad array of practical applications, right? We have people who have started their own companies. We have people who come from the corporate world to be able to bring that perspective in. And so when it comes to assembling the Wondour team, we looked to have a broad entrepreneurial mindset type of individual that comes on to play. And when it comes to working with another company, we hand select exactly who from our team is going to be most compatible with their company, right? Because it's really ultimately humans working with humans. And that's where we start, right? This is human-centered design of a lot of what we do. So we want to make sure that our teams can interface and truly become extensions of whoever we partner with and whatever third party that we partner with for any of the projects that we do. So team is an imperative starting point to what Wondour does in our process.
It's definitely one of those fundamental truths that the team makes all the difference. And so not only is it important that you have a team of individuals that work well together, but in today's day and age, again, most projects have multiple innovations or that they're implementing into their project. And so Wondour's, I think one of the things that sets us apart is we work with a vast array of interdisciplinary teams. And so we build those teams that merge together industries that you don't always find, which is to say designers, engineers, scientists. And so it's a really fun combination of individuals that can generate intellectual property that's truly unique, as well as be able to implement some of even the most complex pieces of innovation that are possible today. So that's definitely a really exciting part. And when you make those selections, we definitely hire and focus in on individuals who have in the past designed and built their own projects and or have started their own companies, so they know what it's like to sort of go through the motions and know the challenges and emotions associated with starting a project like that, so that they can sort of bring that knowledge to whatever project that they're working with and understand and respect the amount that goes into it for the teams. So we also select for friendliness in teams in terms of making sure in most projects there will come a time where there's a decision that needs to be made that will affect millions of users, right? And so you may have people on one side of the fence for what we should do about this problem and on the other. And so in those situations, it's really important that you have a close-knit team that meshes well. And so we really work hard to make sure that the emotions and the personalities are correct for the type of atmosphere and culture of the company and the project that they're working on. So that's definitely a part of the secret sauce. These projects are difficult, and they can be fun with the right group of people putting their heads together and getting along properly in those challenging times.
One of my fondest memories from the early stages of Wondour was actually when developing one of our own products. And that was a project called PokeGear Go. And with that, it was a companion app to the worldwide phenomenon Pokemon Go. And what was fun about that whole project and that experience is we actually built a rough prototype of Pokemon Go, a year before they announced it. Yeah. Right? We were actually in a park here in Las Vegas playing a very rough version because we thought it would be fun. Like, what if we could go and hunt Pokemon using geolocation? And that was just kind of a fun idea we had in the background. And then we heard about the announcement. We were just as excited as everybody else. But that means we were also prepared, right? We'd already been thinking about it. And so seeing how quickly we actually came together with the concepts that we had, I think it was a period of 7 to 10 days of rapid development for our first prototype, right, on the announcement of Pokemon Go. And so being able to see how quickly we could move and how quickly we could adapt with the knowledge set that we had built was really exciting. And then, post-launch, we had 500,000 downloads in 30 days. And so never before had we had quite as much scale on a global basis of any application we had built before. And so we were chatting and on social networks, meeting people from all over the world, right? We were meeting kids in France or meeting adults in Japan who were all using our application, or just going to a park nearby, joining in on the chaos that was Pokemon Go and looking around at people's phones and seeing people use our own application. And that was really one of those first spark moments of the power of the technology that you can build and the accessibility of in that situation, mobile apps and having the world in your pocket. That was really one of those early moments where we saw the power and the resonance of what we created and what the impact that can have across the world.
Yeah, it was definitely exciting to see that you can actually make something and have a real tangible impact. I'd say for me, shortly after that was one of the most exciting times because our team grew very rapidly at that point. We were meshing together, and I was first starting to get a sense of that. Okay, we have an idea, we can build these things, and they have real impact. There's real people. It's not just an idea that's sitting around in a journal or a notebook. This is real, and again, you're seeing people watching these. I think it was that first validation that this is possible, and I think as a team we do have something special. We were able to move incredibly quickly, so I agree that's definitely one of the most exciting aspects. And then as we continue to have subsequent success, I remember just an offhand comment. You just get into the flow of it. We love what we do, so you kind of just go with the flow and constantly creating new ideas. I remember one of our team members mentioned that our user base had gotten up to a point where we technically could fill the largest stadium in the world 151 times over with the number of people that had downloaded our products. And I was like, that's an amazing, it put things in perspective, because when you're first working on these, you see the numbers going up and it's really exciting. You're seeing, 14,000 users coming in a day. It's hard to wrap your head around, but it just looks like numbers. And then as that number starts to go up, you don't necessarily fully comprehend that these are real people. And so that comment actually put in perspective that I think we were doing something special. That visual was like, okay, these are real people. Which I think that was an exciting moment for me.
So it's been incredible to see from where we started with just an app idea, right before Wondour was really a thing, to see where we are today, right? We've been fortunate enough to work with Harvard Medical School researchers on age-related technologies. We've been able to work with multinational electronics companies like TCL. We've been able to see our products used all over the world. So we've had top 100 apps in over 85 countries, #1 app in Japan, top 6 utilities app here in the United States. And the accolades kind of keep building up, right? Not only with the products and the great entrepreneurs we worked with that have had amazing coverage from the likes of Forbes, but we also with our own team, right? The team that we've built with just so imperative to who we are, right? And the culture that we want to create. The team that we've built came with and have received incredible awards, like Red Dot Award winners have come on in the field of industrial design.
IF Design Awards. Mm-hmm. Game Changer Awards, all kinds of awards. It's always really exciting to see the team get recognized for their talent, as well as the founders we've worked with things like Inc. 5000, 40 Under 40 awards, a variety, the Mercedes Award. There's really been a ton, which is one of the most rewarding things, I think, because you see these entrepreneurs step out and take the risk, and then getting recognized for actually doing something meaningful is always really exciting.
And I think as of today, as the last count, we have over 20 million downloads across all the products that we've built over our time at Wondour, which is incredible.
And then mobile apps.
With really the field that we're in, right? The field of technology, right? So this again is mobile applications, it's websites, it's virtual reality, it's metaverse, it's blockchain. That is going to serve a role in almost every business on earth. And so who we can help is anyone who really owns or operates a business or manages a business. And the number of segments within a given business that we could help with is really quite deep, right, and quite broad. So websites still serve their role, and they are the storefronts today, at least. They are still the storefront of your business. Even before somebody sees you on the corner, if you're a physical retailer, that's still the storefront. So making sure, if you haven't touched your website in 3 years, it's already out of date. And there's a decent chance, based on the experience that we've seen, is when you got your website redone 3 years ago, it was probably already about 2 years behind. And so that's one simple area that we could help, but it's getting much broader. So if you look in the area of virtual reality and the metaverse, that you are seeing entrance into that field from the likes of Nike and the likes of Wendy's, right? A shoe and apparel company and a fast food chain. Not people you necessarily think are entering into the world of the metaverse and virtual reality, but they're investing big. And so that's one example of just the broadness of the field and how every business is going to be changed and reshaped by the technologies that are right on the doorstep. And so really any company in the world should be at least considering, if you're not considering today, how technology is going to impact your business in 2, 5, 10 years, you should. And that's certainly a company we can have a conversation with to educate them on how.
Right, and definitely whether you're a consumer-facing business or you're the sort of business that would benefit more from having internal operational software that enhances your own productivity, really the sky's the limit. And so that's one of the reasons why we always say pretty much everyone on earth can find a way to enhance their business using technology. You can look at things like AI and automation, planning for this, making sure that we optimize the cost drivers of your business using technology. All those fundamental things can help even companies that wouldn't normally think that they'd be a technology company really step up their game and make sure that they can grow as large as they can. And then of course, really any consumer-facing brand should be thinking about how to implement technologies and really become a technology company. So there's many ways that they can do that, and so really if you are a company, there's plenty that can be done to innovate and to grow as a company using technology.
So really we look to be a true extension of any client's team. And that's at the root of what we do, right? The experience should be friendly. The experience should be one where it doesn't feel like there is a divide between outside party like Wondour coming into my company. And that's really something that we implore, and that is something that we have ingrained into the DNA of what Wondour is, because that is the experience that we most enjoy, right? Is one where we can share ideas freely, where your problems and your challenges that you're trying to overcome are ours. And so we're invested in the idea of, well, how can we overcome this? Or how can we expand our business into the future? Or here's some of the opportunities that are on the table to lower costs or increase efficiency tenfold, which are real life. In real life, we've seen that come into fruition. And so for me, somebody coming to work with us it feels inherent, it feels natural, and it really feels like it's a type of organization where you can share your thoughts and share your ideas and see those come to fruition through utilizing Wondour.
We definitely like to cultivate an atmosphere of innovation where there's a really strong free flow of ideas, where nobody's afraid to share a bad idea, where we can have the conversations that sort of create those, what we call aha moments. That's those moments of insight that sometimes happen by making sure every person on the team is comfortable talking to each other, working together, throwing out ideas, testing them, doing the research, and integrating both our own expertise so that the companies that we work with feel very comfortable that we can fill out the gaps that they're not sure on, make sure that they feel comfortable and confident that we can execute on this and really make an impact in the industry that they're trying to do. And at the same time, making sure that we can all work together to generate as much IP as possible to keep them ahead of the curve and keep them innovating so that they can, again, stay ahead and not have to worry about disruption of other types.
And one major goal that I look for when looking back at any engagement is I hope a company looks at the engagement and thinks, that was far easier than I thought, right? I first didn't know what I didn't know, that I now understand the industry and what I was trying to target in my product by the end of it, so much more so than I did before, and that for the entirety of the team, right? That we've educated the team from the top down and down up about the industry so that they're ahead of the curve, they understand what is coming, they understand the product that they just built, and they thought the overall experience was one where it was almost more education and far easier than they would have expected going into it.
Yeah, we'd love to leave people with a sense that anything is possible if you just get the right team together, put the right minds, and have the persistence and the passion. You can really, again, move the needle in ways that you wouldn't expect. So I hope that the teams sort of walk away with that feeling that they were able to accomplish more than they thought they were.
Really the future, I mean the nature of the industry that we're in, right? The field of technology that we are emphasizing in, we follow the same curves and the same rates of innovation, right? So right now there's a ton being done in the world of virtual reality and the metaverse and blockchain technologies.
Artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm. And so those are the areas where the industry seems to be evolving are where we are most interested. And so where I see us, if I look at the last 2 years, the emphasis, from mobile applications to virtual reality, we've seen a shift ourselves in terms of where we're spending our time. And I would imagine that in the future, we're going to be spending more and more time than ever in virtual reality in terms of understanding and helping to shape what the role of the metaverse, right, that buzzword as it is today, where the shape of that is going to go and how it's going to impact companies, as well as AI, right? AI is exponentially increasing the pace of change, and it's impacting far more industries than most people would think. Those are the areas I think you'll find us and the rest of our team, because that is inherently where we are incredibly interested and passionate about.
2023 and beyond, there's plenty of projects that we have in the works right now, unannounced, that we're really excited to share with the world. A lot of the projects that have been announced have a lot of new innovations that are sort of just under the surface about to be announced that we're really excited to show. And then of course, we sort of focus our attention where the world's attention is, because that's where you want to be if you're building products. So as mixed reality headsets come out with pass-through lenses, we're looking at those sort of experiences. We're looking at augmented reality, which is right around the corner, actively developing technologies for that and making sure that we're ahead of the curve. A lot of those things are starting to come to fruition now in terms of building out the developer tool sets for those and really implementing the really exciting types of experiences that can come from metaverse type and blockchain type experiences.
With Wondour, we love ideas, and those ideas can be stemmed from, how can I, increase the efficiency of my large corporation, right? How can I plan to make sure that I don't go, by the way of Kodak, in my established corporation, or even the youngest startup. We've worked with people where they barely even have an idea or don't have an idea at all, and they want to make a leap out of their professional career and start something. We had one very recently in the world of virtual reality, right? So during COVID, they went through kind of an existential crisis, jumped away from, in this case, the field of accounting, and wanted to dive into the world of virtual reality, but didn't necessarily know where to start. In fact, they didn't even know that virtual reality was where they wanted to start. And
that's okay.
We just worked with, asking them questions and discovering, what inspires them or what are the most interesting things about their career that they want to bring over to a more digital world. And really, it's those ideas and sharing in ideas and seeing those ideas through to a real product. We love talking about them. It's what we talk about, in our personal lives when, the clock is, we clock out. This is where we live. This is where our passion lives. And so if anybody really has an idea, corporation or a small startup, we love to hear about it. We love to talk about it. We love to share. If you like the field of technology that we've talked about here, from anywhere from the metaverse to blockchain, come out to our first ever Wondour workshop right here in Las Vegas. We're going to have it at the Whitney Library on July 16th. Just text workshop to 702-602-8802. And we can't wait to see you.
If you want to learn any more about Wondour, visit our website at wondour, WONDOUR.com. And you can check us out on socials. We'd love to hear from you guys. Please reach out, and we hope to see you guys next time.